Dear students, good evening. Welcome to Excellence IAS. Let us do the editorial analysis for today, that is November 22nd, 2022. The first article, the dissenting judgment versus the razing of equality. So it is again about EWS. You know that EWS reservation is not violating the basic structure of the constitution. That is the majority judgment. On the other side, minority judgment has opined that by not providing reservations to the poor among existing reserved categories, it has violated the principle of equality. So there are two versions to this. Majority judges have said that it is not violative of the basic structure of the constitution. Dissenting judges, two judges, have clearly stated that it is violative of the principle of equality. So let us carefully observe. So equality is part of the basic structure of the constitution. Any kind of exclusion is violative of the principle of equality. In the case of EWS reservations, people from SC, ST, OBC communities, the poor from these communities, were being removed to enjoy the benefits of reservation. So that's why this exclusion is violative of the principle of equality is one argument. Second is, poverty, casteism, etc. cannot be seen in silos. The casteism, discrimination is the basis for poverty. Poverty leads to discrimination and discrimination leads to poverty. They are interdependent. So the judgment tried to see poverty, reservations, and then caste system, socio-economic deprivations, everything in different silos. So the poverty is an interplay of social, economic, political factors. The judgment failed to see that interplay between these gender, social, economic factors, etc. That is the another criticism of this article. These are the 2 points which we need to understand. The Geoheritage value of Ram Setu. Why this article is in news? The Ramasetu project need to be given natural or national heritage status. This is the demand of Mr. Subramanya Swamy. So here, this Ramasetu is a coral bridge between Park Bay and Gulf of Mannar. Now, to decrease the distance between west and east coast of India. Now, if we want to move from west to east coast, we have to go rounding about the Sri Lanka. Now, by dredging this, we can easily pass from west to east coast. This project is called as Setu Samudram project. The Setu Samudram sea channel project, ship channel project, this is being proposed. What are the concerns? This is a rich biodiverse area. Mangroves, coral reefs, etc. are there. And this is a biosphere reserve. Any kind of dredging activity over here can cause serious ecological and environmental damage. And second aspect is, in spite of dredging, it is still prone for a lot of sedimentation. So, regular cleaning of this sedimentation is required and it is not going to be cost effective. This region is also prone for cyclones frequently. And if any kind of ecological disasters like oil spillages occur, the damage it can do to the environment, sensitive ecological environment, is going to be enormous. And finally, there is a religious sentiment to the people, that is, Ramasetu was built by Hanuman. So this Ramayana story, though there are many proofs that it is just a creative story, but still the sentiments of the Hindus need to be protected. That's how the argument of this article is. Law and rules. So there is a fight which is going on between regulations of UGC and then laws of the state governments, university laws of the state governments. Many of the vice chancellors appointed by the state governments were being removed from their office on the reason that UGC regulations are not being followed. The Supreme Court judgment has clearly given primacy to UGC regulation over the state university laws. That's why what the article suggests is UGC regulations have to be seen based on their own merit, and Kerala shall accept these regulations in the interests of the merit and has to follow them and has to adopt them in their laws. That is the recommendation of Hindu. Signs of trouble. So the terrorism has decreased these days. Even in Jammu and Kashmir or various states, you are not seeing the terror activities. But however, this silence is not permanent. This peace is not permanent. It is clearly exposed by recent blasts, planned failed blasts in Coimbatore and Mangalore. Especially in the coastal districts of Karnataka, the terrorism or terror roots are taking deep roots. The major reason is competitive communalism. Remember this word. So the polarization between Hindu and Muslim communities is leading to competitive communalism of majority and minority, and it is also promoting the jihadi terrorism. So this jihadi terrorism is first time used by National Crime Records Bureau. That's why I am also using this particular word over here. So the competitive communalism, polarization, political parties playing to the, polarized communities is leading to rise of jihadi terrorism. So that's where how strong investigative agencies may be, the communal harmony has to come from good politics. That is the take home point. How different is the new data protection bill? Let us try to understand this. In this bill, there are certain weaknesses. What is the major weakness? The state surveillance is expected to increase. Why state surveillance is expected to increase? Data Protection Board is being created. This Data Protection Board, with regard to this, almost 14 out of 22 clauses, who has the power to make the rules? The rule-making power is with the center. So it means center, if it wants to take your data or change the rules with regard to your privacy, it can do. And there is no oversight of the independent institutions like judiciary or parliament on these matters. And blanket exemption is given to certain state institutions like intelligence agencies. Added to that, the age of consent. So it means if I have to be a data principal to give consent to use my personal information, the age is been decided as 18 years. And the third thing is data principal. It means the me who is holding the data. To whom the data belongs to, Data principal is to whom the data belongs to. He also has certain duties. If he is giving any wrong information, a penalty of 10,000 rupees can be imposed on the data principal. So, the data protection bill is supposed to protect the data principal, but it also has got certain penalty clauses against the data principal. These are the criticisms which are being brought in this article. Thank you very much. Have a great day.